I wanted to share with you a practice that I do that I started I must have been guided to do it because when I started it, I did it like, oh, I think this sounds like maybe a good idea. And now it has been really a revelatory practice. And it may be for you too. So, when we are taking on a new concept or we really want to deeply get into a deep state of cognition with any particular topic, when we read, and I'm a voracious reader, we're reading for content. Of course we are. We want to remember it, we want to recall it, we want to really understand the concepts that are contained within. And our conscious, our frontal lobe is working, right? It's our optic nerve is working in reading the words, our brain is working in translating the meaning of the words. Our reason center is, do I agree with this or do I not agree with this? So there's a lot of thought activity going on simultaneously. That's the absolute miracle of the way that our brains and nerves and chemicals within our bodies work. What happens to me when I read linearly, even a novel, is you're reading for content. You just are. You might get struck by the beauty of a phrase or like, whoa, or be driven to highlight a sentence, but you're still content oriented because you're leading with your mind. You're leading with your mind. And so, what I suggest you do, and what has worked for me so amazingly, is when you take on a new topic, I actually read it for the first time into my voice recorder. Chapter by chapter, half a chapter by chapter, a couple paragraphs at a time, whatever time you can allot to then take that voice recording and meditate the next day. So you've done the precursor of reading through it while speaking. Now the next morning or maybe even later that day, now you lay or sit with your in a meditative pose with your deep breathing and your eyes closed. The idea is that now you are allowing the ideas to just penetrate you and you're not reading for content. It doesn't even matter if you don't really get it all because you're going to go back and read it one more time. But this allows your non so there's a your voice is in your head, right? Your voice is talking to you through this recording. So your frontal lobe is engaged because it is listening to words. But because it's engaged enough, you're able to go so much deeper. I find that the meaning behind the words is able to really penetrate. And then I notice that my body might be affected, or it might be stimulated, or it might be stimulated where I'm refuting something, or I feel the emotion come up in my body into reaction to what I'm listening to. And then the third reading is with my highlighter and my notebook, taking notes. And I always buy books because I tend to scribble in the margins. And then when I read them again, I'm always like, oh, look what you thought back then. That's so cute. As we evolve and our thought process changes. But for me, that 3-step process where you're kind of just reciting it and reading it and not necessarily reading for deep meaning, taking it in somatically and noticing how it just reacts in your body, and then going back and really trying to extract whatever it was supposed to tell you, and make notes and allow yourself to be, to journal on it, to let it circulate, to let it integrate. That has been the way where topics that I am absolutely genuinely interested in, but when I open the book, I can't get further than the first 4 pages. So I've been trying to read the book Infinite Jest for, I don't know, 8 years now. And you can think what you will about the author. I know David Foster Wallace is very polarizing, but there are parts in that book and sentences in that book that go on for pages that are like otherworldly. They're like scintillating, like they glisten, and they're so rewarding. But to keep the concentrated thread through that book is, I've never been able to finish it. And I'll go back. Actually, now that I say that, I think I have to go back and read it again. Maybe now I have the capacity. I'll keep trying because there are parts in it that are very annoying, but there's parts that are so amazingly written that are I find it a worthwhile endeavor. So I'm offering this to you because for me, this was a tool that changed the way that I am able to absorb information, not just gather it, not just memorize it, not just cognitively know it, but really take it in. And I do believe that that's where knowledge can start to integrate into wisdom. So I offer you to take something even that you've read before, something that you love to read. Take out your favorite passage in the Bible and record yourself reading it to you. And then allow yourself to be in a quiet space and listen to it with your eyes closed. First of all, if you're self conscious about the way your voice sounds recorded, it's a good way to start to kind of make peace with you and your voice and how you sound recorded. Like, my voice gets nasal. Shocker. Like, that's how it gets. But I've been able to kind of be like, I mean it. And I'm so sincere that I appreciate whatever tonality comes out of my voice. So that is what came up for me today. It's what I offer you as a tool, and I will see you tomorrow.